Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are going to continue with fractions. Let's see, am I sharing? Yes, I should be sharing. Okay. So to start off, we're going to do our math warm-up with the following problems. You will have to tell me if these equations are true or false. So remember, boys and girls, you always want to start with what's inside the parentheses. So for the first problem, in parentheses, you have 5 times 4 and then plus 4. What does that give you? Equals 6 times 4. Is this equation true or false? Remember, we always want to make sure that our equation is balanced, and I always use that with you. Are they balanced? That means that if they are balanced, both sides of the equation need to be the same, okay? So if you are not done with this problem, just go ahead and pause the video so that you can finish your calculations. I'm going to continue with the next problem. 16 times 4, is that equal to 8 tenths? Okay, so remember, they need to be the same number on both sides. Next problem. Remember, boys and girls, I'm going to continue, but it is your job to pause the video for you to finish your calculations. Next problem, in parentheses, 3 times 4, and then times 2. Does that equal 4 times 3 times 2? So is this true or false? Next problem, 8 times 100 equals 80 times 10. Is that true or false? Okay, remember, pause the video so you can finish your calculations. I am going to move on. So today we're going to continue to decompose non-unit fractions and represent them as whole numbers. So this is what you boys and girls did last week. A lot of you had the 10 problems as homework. I'm not sure how that went for you guys, but if you have any questions, you can ask those questions during our Zoom meetings on Tuesdays, okay? So I'm going to continue with this, our word problem. Jimmy ate a 1/4 of a chocolate bar for 7 straight days. How many chocolate bars did Jimmy eat? Okay. So what's our situation? What's happening in the word problem? It is Jimmy is eating chocolate bars. That is what is happening in our word problem. Okay, so what are the numbers that we see in our word problem? I see 1/4 and a 7. Okay, what do these numbers represent? The 7 represents the number of days he eats chocolate bars. Okay. And the 1/4 represents the amount he eats each day. Okay. So what do we want to know? What's the question? How many chocolate bars did Jimmy eat total, right? So how do we solve this? Okay. So let's solve. Now he ate 7 for 7 straight days, okay? So on day 1, he ate this much of a chocolate bar. Unfortunately, boys and girls, I could not find a picture of a 1/4 chocolate bar. So I went ahead and settled for this little diagram that I have here for you. So hopefully that explains that. So on day 1, he ate 1/4. That's this orange part. That's how much he ate out of this chocolate bar. So let's pretend that this whole thing is a chocolate bar, and on the first day, he only ate this one piece. On the second day, he ate another 1/4. On the third day, he ate another 1/4. Fourth, another 1/4. Fifth day, he ate another 1/4. Remember, we are going for 7 days. On the sixth day, he ate another 1/4. And on the seventh day, he ate another 1/4. So our question is, how many full chocolate bars did he eat? Okay, if you add them, they equal 7/4, right? If you add the numerator, there's 7 days, so it's 7/4. Now, how many chocolate bars did Jimmy eat? Okay, now if you were to drag this part of our circle, if you were to drag this part of our circle over to this guy, then you would have a half. If you were to drag this guy over to the next part and over, all these added together will give you 4/4. They would give you one whole chocolate bar, okay? So 4/4 give you one whole chocolate bar. Now, that's 4/4. However, we want to get to 7/4. So I am going to continue adding 1/4 until I get to 7. So I have not gotten to 7 here. This is just one full chocolate bar. Okay. So how much more do I need to get to 7/4? You need 3/4. So you need an additional 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 to finish our 7/4. So Jimmy ate one full bar and 3/4 of a chocolate bar. Okay, so not a full chocolate bar, he only ate 3/4 of it. Okay, so now how did we find that whole? So this is similar to last week's PowerPoint. Here, I told you to look at the denominator. The denominator represents the whole number. So if your denominator is 4, then you want to make your numerator a 4th to give you one whole, okay? So for example, the way that we did it earlier, we just added all the 1/4 and we got our 7/4, okay? You could always skip that step and just start with the 7/4. Well, start with the whole and then see how much more you need to get to that 7, okay? So you can skip this whole part and just come straight here once you add your 1/4. So this is your 4/4 that gives you 1 bar plus 3/4 to get to the 7/4, okay? So Jimmy ate one full bar and 3/4 of a bar, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. For this week, I am going to continue working on word problems, okay? So for your homework, you'll see what your homework is in a second, but you're going to solve 3 word problems and a few true or false questions. So let's now come back to our true or false that we had in the beginning. True or false. So what did you guys say about 5 times 4 plus 4 equals 6 times 4? Was that true or false? It was true, boys and girls. This side of our equation equals 24. The other side of our equation equals 24 as well. So that makes that equation true. They are balanced. Next. 16 times 5. Does that equal 8 tenths? 8 tenths. Yes, true. 16 times 5 is 80, okay? And 8 tenths just means 80. Boys and girls, when you do these type of calculations, 16 times 5, please use your area model that we have been learning to use. Now, this is a good example where many of you might make a mistake. So 16 times 5 would be best if you were to use an area model. Next, 3 times 4 and then times 2 equals 4 times 3 times 2. Now, you should have been able to see this right off the bat just by looking at the numbers. They're the same exact numbers. They're just shifted. They're in different positions. That is true. If you solved, you should have gotten 24 equals 24. Next, 8 times 100 equals 80 times 100. Now remember, boys and girls, we learned that you need to count the number of zeros that you have and put them in your answer, okay? So a good way to kind of see this right off the bat is, does this side of the equation have the same number of zeros than this side? This one was false because on this side, it should have been 800. 8 times 100 gives you 800. 80 times 100 gives you 8,000. Too big, okay? That has 3 zeros. That's why there are 3 zeros in your answer, okay? So that's your true or false. Now here, boys and girls, on your Google Classroom, you're going to find 3 word problems to complete and 5 true or false practice review math problems. These are problems that we've already done throughout the year. So for those that need help reading the word problems, I'm going to put them up right now so that if you are home and no one's there to help you, and you're having trouble reading the word problems, then you can just follow this video, okay? So these are our word problems. Unfortunately, they look very confusing to you, but I'm going to go over it with my laser so you can see what I'm talking about. Number 1 is, Jamie is going to bake 7 batches of cookies. Each batch requires 3/4 cup of butter. How many cups of butter will Jamie need to bake all 7 batches of cookies? That's word problem number 1 that you need to do for homework. Word problem number 2 that you need to do for homework. During the winter, it rained 4 straight days. Each day there was 5-6 inches of rain. How many total inches of rain was received? Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, Francisco is going to paint his house. There are 9 walls. Each requires 3/4 gallon of paint. How many gallons of paint will Francisco need to paint his house? Okay. So though that is your homework for this week, like I said, you also have the other 5 true and false questions there for you to do, okay? Okay, boys and girls, I hope this is getting easier for you. If you need any help, that's what our Zoom meetings are for, so I can go over it with you if there are any questions. Okay, so I hope this is getting easier. Okay. Have a good day, boys and girls.